matey. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. WrestleMania Night 1, WrestleMania known as WrestleMania Saturday, has had in the books. But now we're doing the predicted outcome for WrestleMania Night 2 for WrestleMania Sunday. And our matey way WrestleMania we have for you coming up tonight. The triple threat match for the Universal Championship. Roman Reigns defends his Universal Championship gold against Daniel Bryan in 2021 winner Raw Edge. Wow, that's going to be a huge triple threat match. Three men who fought for adversity now, a couple years ago, now back in the main event of WrestleMania. Then we'll have Rhea Ripley versus Asuka for the Raw Women's title. The Nigerian street fight between champion Big E Intercontinental Champion defends his goal against Apollo Crews. And this match, Randy Orton against The Fiend, this grudge match that's been going on for so long. And we'll continue with recap of night 1 of WrestleMania Saturday as Bianca Belair is the new SmackDown Women's Champion. She defeated the boss Sasha Banks to capture the SmackDown Women's title, as well as Cesaro winning against Seth Rollins, Braun Strowman defeating Shane McMahon, Bobby Lashley with that stunning upset over Drew McIntyre, who I thought was going to be the heavy favorite. Drew didn't pick up the win, but we'll talk about that. What's next for Drew? And we'll talk about what in the hell Virgil doing here. I thought he was a WWE legend. Oh, man. Ugh. All this and more when the Pro Wrestling Show presents our live edition of the WrestleMania predicted outcome for Sunday night, WrestleMania Sunday, night 2, as it begins after the countdown. Whoa. Hey everyone, welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show, this live edition of the Pro Wrestling Show on YouTube, on the Pro Wrestling, on Connect TV's YouTube page, not YouTube page, but Facebook page. It will be on YouTube thereafter. But thank you all for joining us here for the WrestleMania Sunday Night 2 edition of WrestleMania. The show of shows, man, the granddad of them all, the pageantry, which WrestleMania was. It was that, the stage setting right here. It was a pirate theme. WrestleMania looked it so magnificent. And this coming off of WrestleMania was supposed to be in Tampa, Florida for during the pandemic, but the pandemic came in. WrestleMania had to not be WrestleMania as is. I think this would have been WrestleMania last year if things would have went accordingly. But hey, thank you all for watching this live edition here on Facebook Watch, on Connect TV. We thank you all. Connect TV on Facebook Watch. Yeah. And be on YouTube thereafter. Thank you all for watching. Like I said, join us in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget, and I mean don't forget to subscribe. Sound like a WrestleMania pirate. So we got to get to a lot of recaps, but let's get to the recaps from WrestleMania Night 1. What a fantastic WrestleMania. I couldn't, some of the matches that I predicted from yesterday didn't come true. Well, it did. I thought it was going to be a different outcome, but things happen for a reason, and you know how that go. But this WrestleMania they brought it. I mean, they brought it. It was consistent, good wrestling. I mean, everyone, it wasn't a flaw. Everybody worked so hard to make this WrestleMania the showcase of the Immortals, and kudos to everyone. But let's get started with one recap. When Bianca Belair defeated the boss, and I mean Bianca Belair holding her new SmackDown Women's title, She defeated about Sasha Banks in a hard-fought matchup. These were the first. This was the first WrestleMania match to feature two black women of color. Main event WrestleMania. A lot of people, JBL, Michael Cole, they brought this to attention, saying this is the first WrestleMania match where two black women of color, headlining and main eventing WrestleMania. And I was like, you know what, Cole and JBL is right. Booker T didn't even try to shed light on it. And I think if a man his distinction, his color, shed light to it. If it is what it is. But these two minority women deliver at WrestleMania. Bianca Belair emerged victorious as the new SmackDown Women's Champion. Bianca Belair, sky's the limit for her on what her new title reign gonna be, headlining, being the new Women's Champion of SmackDown. And what does Sasha Banks go from here? Sasha Banks shouldn't be ashamed of herself. She shouldn't be worried because she was a phenomenal champion. Her and that storyline with her and Bayley got to the point, and now Sasha drops the title to Bayley. There's been rumors and reports that Sasha may be leaving, heading to film the Mandalorian. So Sasha Banks shouldn't be ashamed. She was a heck of a competitor. That match was real good. Bianca Belair displaying her power moves as Sasha was trying to play mind games with Bianca, even trying to get her hair and trying to tie her up in her braids. But Bianca Belair emerged victorious as the new SmackDown Women's Champion. Also, Cesaro had his WrestleMania moment when he took on Seth Rollins after Seth Rollins had said that Cesaro wouldn't amount to nothing. He'll still be me order and stuff. And I think when people do that, that motivates people even more, that more people don't even knew that existed. So Seth Rollins had to eat his words. But Cesaro, with kickups and win, he even did the move that I ain't seen him do before he came to WWE. He did in Ring of Honor, the UFO. He had his hands on his hips doing the airplane spin on Seth Rollins, and it was amazing. It was a WrestleMania moment indeed. And Cesaro did deliver in his WrestleMania moment. But he won the match, and he pulled the naysayers wrong. And it was his first WrestleMania singles match. So big ups to Cesaro. Also, big ups to Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman went against Shane McMahon inside a 15-foot high steel cage match. Shane McMahon thought he had his goons, Elias and Jackson Ryder, aligned with him to attack Braun Strowman, distract him for a moment. Shane worked on Braun throughout the match with an injured knee. Shane worked on it, and he tried to, put critical pressure on it, but it was no match. Shane McMahon thought he was going to escape. Braun grabbed him. Shane thought he was going to wave goodbye. Braun grabbed him and pushed. He ripped that chain fence, or chain cage fence, and he went to town with Shane McMahon. He even did a spot that Shane McMahon had got dropped on his on the top of the cage, and he got dropped. And Braun Strowman delivered the Oklahoma Slam and got the 1, 2, 3. Braun Strowman telling people and proving people wrong. He's not stupid, and he's tired of people being labeled and being judged due to their abilities. So Braun Strowman won the match for his team. Also, the Raw Tag Team titles on the line. AJ Styles and his tag team partner Almas, who debuted, he made his WrestleMania debut, the 7-foot giant, along with AJ Styles, defeated the New Day to become the new Raw Tag Team champions. The New Day got a little bit cocky and a little bit arrogant, thinking that they can just pin down Styles. It was more like the New Day was working like heels as they were at working as faces. Well, AJ and Almas are the new Raw Tag Team champions. Almas wins a championship in his debut match as a tag team champion. AJ Styles also made history. AJ is now won a Triple Crown championship in a Grand Slam championship. So AJ now can add that to his impressive resume. And now as well, he's the first TNA Impact Grand Slam winner and WWE Grand Slam winner. So congratulations and kudos to the phenomenal one, AJ Styles, on this accomplishment. Also, WWE Champion Bobby Lashley went against Drew McIntyre. This match right here was physical. It was gritty. You know, before this was the first match of the night, but it was supposed to be the first. It was, but due to Mother Nature, they had to wait. So WWE improvised, and they had the superstars do interviews conducting interviews with the announcers, and the announcers. It was just smart. That's smart by WWE. They just like, well, Mother Nature ain't gonna stop us, and kudos to WWE for not refusing to give in more ways than one. But it was so phenomenal that Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre, I thought there was a shoe in for Drew to win back the title and become a 3-time world champion. Well, Bobby Lashley and Drew hit their moves. Drew hit every move you can think of. The Claymore, the that DDT he does. He was on the go, but it just didn't pale to comparison. Bobby Lashley used the hurt lock, the use of the full Nelson, modified full Nelson, and Drew just passed out. He didn't give up, passed out. So could we be looking at a rubber match coming up probably at Money in the Bank or Backlash? Probably at Money in the Bank. So we probably look at that. Drew with one and Bobby with one. You recall last year. So Drew McIntyre being put to the test, Bobby Lashley being put to the test. And so this rivalry will continue, and I believe Drew will get that title one way or another. Also, impressive debut from Grammy Award winning hip hop star Bad Bunny. He teamed up with Damian Priest to take on the team of The Miz and John Morrison. This match right here, I mean, Bad Bunny impressed me. Bad Bunny was in the match throughout the match. I was thinking Damian Priest was gonna take a notch and get beat up, and then Bad Bunny make his spot. And Bad Bunny stayed in it. I mean, Bad Bunny stayed in it. Bad Bunny held his own in that match. I was shocked. I was like, what in the world? Bad Bunny? Bad Bunny doing justice to himself. And I'm thinking to myself, like, Bad Bunny holding his own. But he was getting beat up by The Miz and John Morrison. Bad Bunny even did a Canadian destroyer of John Morrison outside the ring. And Miz knew he was in trouble. And Miz got beat by Bad Bunny with a crossbody. The Miz lost to Bad Bunny. I thought Bad Bunny was going to pin John Morrison, but it just didn't turn out that way. I mean, Bad Bunny came to play. He came to whoop some ass tonight. And he did so indeed. So Bad Bunny and Damian Priest win their match. One away for WrestleMania. So this WrestleMania night 1 on Saturday, the recap, it was so phenomenal. Matches, Bad Bunny, Lashley, Bianca Belair. Like I said, Bianca Belair, Lashley, Cesaro, Strowman. They all won their matches, their respective matches, and kudos to them. And so we get to now the predicted outcome for WrestleMania Night 2, WrestleMania Sunday. And what a lot at stake tonight. Let's get started with, we saw earlier this morning on the Bump, Matt Riddle was interviewed by the Bump hostess, and he was talked about how he feels going against defending his United States Championship against Sheamus. Sheamus and Matt Riddle are no strangers. This smash mouth hard impact match. I mean, these two men, like I said, Sheamus can have fun, Matt Riddle can have fun, but when that bell ring, it's on. And I mean, it's on indefinitely, like Sheamus and Bad Bunny. So it's hard to predict, but I don't know. I believe that Matt Riddle will win his match and retain his United States Championship against Sheamus, because I believe this is going to be the opening match for night 2. Mark my word. Also, Natalya and Tamina, they coming off the heels of winning the tag team turmoil from last night, from WrestleMania Saturday, when they went through, and I mean they went through the Riot Squad. They went through Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose. They went through Carmella and Billy Kay. They went through everyone. So they're gonna get this moment of a lifetime this week. And so they're gonna go against they won the tag team match. So they're gonna advance to meet Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler for the women's tag team titles. This should be a match that everyone wants to see. These women are tough as nails and they're tough as cookies. I tell you. So look for Nia Jax and Shayna with the help of Nia Samole. What that dude name is? But you know what I'm talking about. They're gonna win. So keep that in mind. They're gonna win over. But if they don't, I'd be shocked that if Nia Jax and Natalya and Tamina win, I'll be shocked. But look for, I believe Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler will retain their women's tag team gold. Also, Kevin Owens goes one-on-one against his former best friend Sami Zayn. They've been fighting ever since they even got to WWE. And if you can recall their history, they've been fighting ever since Ring of Honor, when Sami Zayn was El Generico and Kevin Owens was Kevin Steen. I followed their careers throughout, so I know a little bit about that. But these two men want to fight, and Kevin Owens trying to get the conspiracy theorists going. Well, not Sam, I meant to say, with the conspiracy theories in WWE. Well, Kevin Owens not buying it, don't care. Sammy thinks he should care, but it's now a new problem that Logan Paul from YouTube is involved in this. Logan Paul kind of in the middle, but Logan Paul don't even know what's going on. He's just there as a celebrity. But look for Sami Zayn to get over on Kevin Owens in this matchup. Maybe from the help of Logan Paul, who knows? But it's quite telling to see what this match could be and how this match going to fare between these two, because they've been fighting each other almost for 15 years now. So, it's typical. It's typical. So it's typical with that. Also, the Intercontinental title is on the line as Big E defends his Intercontinental gold against former friend Apollo Crews with this new Haiti accent. Now, this all started as a friendly competition, and then it turned to jealousy. Apollo Crews felt like Big E was jealous of him. Big E never gave him opportunities for the prestigious Intercontinental Championship. Now these two men will clash in a Nigerian drum fight. Now, I don't know the rules of the Nigerian drum fight. It's sort of like we have to wait and see what this drum fight going to be. Will it be Nigerian rules? Even the person who knows is Apollo Crews. So Apollo Crews may have to explain what the rules of a Nigerian drum fight is. And it's for the Intercontinental title. So Big E has been getting the upper hand on Crews as late as these past couple of months, even on pay-per-views for Elimination Chamber and Fastlane. So now it all comes to a head at WrestleMania, where Big E defends the gold against Crews. So look for Apollo Crews, since this is his match, a Nigerian drum fight match, to leave out WrestleMania as the new Intercontinental Champion over Big E. Also partaking into WrestleMania festivities as well, Randy Orton goes one-on-one against The Fiend. The Fiend and Randy Orton, no strangers towards one another. After Randy Orton burnt him and crucified him late last year, now The Fiend returns with the help and the aid of his special friend Alexa Bliss. Look for her to be at ringside as well. Bliss and The Fiend are back, and Alexa Bliss playing mind games with Randy Orton. Randy Orton don't even know what's going on. So Randy Orton going to figure out how he's going to defeat The Fiend. He done so late last year when he burnt The Fiend to a crisp and thought The Fiend was done for. Well, The Fiend and Randy Orton will meet at WrestleMania in a singles match. Look for The Fiend to defeat Randy Orton. And there's been rumors and reports that The Fiend might do something devastating to Randy Orton for now. So look for that. Also, the Raw Women's Championship is on the line as Asuka defends her Raw Women's gold against the Raw newcomer Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley, a former NXT Women's Champion, as well as Asuka is the longest reigning NXT Women's Champion. These two women meet and clash. They said earlier reports supposed to be Charlotte and Asuka, but due to what Charlotte's issues is, it's going to be Rhea Ripley versus Asuka. We saw this past week on Monday Night Raw that Asuka and Rhea Ripley was in a match, in a tag team match against the women's tag team champions, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, after Rhea Ripley turned her back on her tag team partner Asuka, leading towards this match. Now there's been reports that Rhea Ripley is likely to win the gold. So those reports may be true. So I'm going with Rhea Ripley taking the gold from Asuka and leaving as the new Raw Women's Champion. And finally, the main event. And I mean main event. These three men have battled adversity throughout the last 10 years. As you recall, Edge, 10 years ago to this day, was in a match at WrestleMania in Atlanta when he took on Alberto Del Rio, and he won the match. But that following Smackdown, Edge announced that he's retiring from wrestling. It was heartbreaking to hear and see, and you're thinking like, Edge is no longer can't wrestle no more. And we thought Edge going to the Hall of Fame, that was going to be in for his historic career. Edge came back and won the Royal Rumble. He came back last year, Royal Rumble. Didn't win it, but he won. He had series of matches with Randy Orton, and he got to the point now that he won the Royal Rumble. He started at number 2, and he outlasted 29 other men to earn the opportunity where he is tonight as the Royal Rumble winner to go to WrestleMania and headline as the main event. Also speaking, Daniel Bryan, as you recall, in 2015, 6 years ago, Daniel Bryan, February 2016, Daniel Bryan loved what he did. He did. He really did. He had to retire due to in-ring retirement. I think it was like for his, no, Edge had his neck. Daniel Bryan, I think, for his concussion. So it was heartbreaking to hear that. Daniel Bryan will move on a year before, won the WWE Championship in that historic triple threat match between him, Batista, and Randy Orton. Now, a year later, Daniel Bryan was retired. We thought he was done. He he was the SmackDown general manager. He wasn't content with that. He was content with it, but he wasn't really content with it, you can tell. But then Daniel Bryan rose from the ashes, and he came back at WrestleMania in New Orleans. I think that was 3 years ago, 2018. He came back in that tag team match with him and Shane McMahon. Went against Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. And now Daniel Bryan comes back, and now during this year, doing this I call this the Daniel Bryan effect. Daniel Bryan looks at it like, I deserve a spot. I know the fans want me in that spot, and I'm going to take it. And Daniel Bryan has. And due to Adam Pearce, made it a triple threat match. And we finally get to the champion, Roman Reigns. He has battled adversity as well. Roman Reigns, around that same time in 2018, around September 2018, Roman Reigns announced and revealed that he had leukemia. Roman Reigns announced it, and he was going to be out of action for a couple of months. We didn't know. We didn't know how long it would be. He was battling for his life. Roman Reigns got raised upon the ashes in late August of this year, late August of last year. Reigns went to where he came back SummerSlam, but he destroyed everybody. He won his title back. Then the following week at Payback, he won the Universal title and has been champion ever since. Been going through the likes of Sami Zayn, not Sami Zayn, but Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman, and I guess The Fiend. But these three men know what adversity is and know what adversity is like to get back at this moment. This is the main event at WrestleMania 37. This will close the show. Roman Reigns defends his Universal Championship against Edge and Daniel Bryan. This is the match that everyone's been talking about. Who is going to lead SmackDown after WrestleMania? And I'm just telling you, this match right here from top to bottom, Edge and Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan, I respect them and they expect what they have done to get to this point. I mean, get to this point because adversity is, when you face adversity, you're facing new challenges. How can you overcome the hill? You can never question these three men's intestinal fortitude. And I mean that in the sincerest form. So I look at it like this. These three men want the goal. Only one person must be the champion. A lot of people saying Edge is likely the favorite to win. I'm going to go opposite. I believe Daniel Bryan will win the Universal Championship at WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan has done it. So Daniel Bryan said himself, this might not be he might be having his last days as a full-time wrestler. So way to go out than being the Universal World Heavyweight Champion. So look for that. Daniel Bryan winning the title and recreating WrestleMania once again. So there you go. All right. And like I said, WrestleMania is tonight. Don't forget, it'll be on the Peacock Network in the United States and the WWE Network elsewhere around the world, available around the world. This card is scintillating. This is a scintillating card that you're gonna see tonight. And a lot of people saying, "What in this Virgil? What is Virgil doing there?" Well, we know Ted DiBiase's trusty sidekick was there as a fan, I guess. And what else? And then too, on Hot Topics, quick Hot Topics. During WrestleMania Saturday night one, they made an announcement that Rey Mysterio, I don't know if he's gonna be the face of the new WWE 2022 game, and Cesaro was in the game as well. So you're gonna look for Rey and Cesaro being in the game. Cesaro having one heck of a night, and who knows, Cesaro may be in line for a Universal title shot on whoever emerges victorious in this triple threat match between Reigns, Edge, and Bryan. So we have to wait and see. All right, everyone. Thank you all for watching this live edition. I mean live edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. We talk about predict the outcome for WrestleMania Sunday Night 2. Be sure to watch it on Peacock. Yeah, I always say Peacock Network in the US and the WWE Network available around other countries. I've been your host, Kendrick Dick, saying so long, and I'll see you at WrestleMania, and I'll see you next week for this week Pro Wrestling Show. See you later.